Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashikritau Vande Bhagavantau Puna Punaha Ishvaru Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayeta. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thanks, Swamiji. With your kind permission, we will take the first question. Pranam Swamiji. The puja, japa, dhyana, mananam, etc. that we do for our sadhana falls in different categories of bhakti as described in chapter 12. I don't think I can say that I'm at level 1 or 3 or 5. Is it okay? Or do we need to go from one category to another, one to progress? Thank you, Swamiji, for clarifying. Charan Spas Swamiji.
This chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. Generally, people think that in this chapter, Lord Sri Krishna is talking about the bhakti. This is our general conception. Because here is a bhakti yoga. But here bhakti does not mean only bhakti. Here bhakti means the entire path of the spirituality. As I described in my previous lectures. Here the bhakti does not mean bhakti. So we have to understand the idea about in this chapter Lord Sri Krishna gave us. We believe that there are three paths for the spirituality or realization. One is the karma yoga, another is the bhakti yoga, third one is the path of knowledge. Generally, there are three steps. So bhakti yoga is in middle. Before bhakti, there is a karma yoga, and after bhakti, there is a jnana yoga. But here, Sri Krishna made some special. He categorized karma yoga in two ways. As well as bhakti yoga also in two ways. So karma yoga means when we do for ourselves and we think this is all God's grace. Whatever I am getting, whatever comes in my way, this is the God's grace. But I am doing only for myself. I am not doing any charity. I am not doing for anyone. So these are very basic. Then next level is when we start do charity, work for others. So this is the karma yoga. There are two categories. Work for myself and work for others. Even if you are working for yourself, it can be converted into bhakti. In Bhakti Yoga, there are also two categories. In one category, when we worship the collective God, like Vishwarupa, God is everywhere. When we worship God is everywhere, this is one path. If it is not possible, we cannot see the God everywhere, then we think God is residing somewhere in Vaikuntha, in Kailas, or God is residing in my heart. So I meditate sometime upon the Vishnu 400, upon the Mahadevji, are in my heart. And the last path is path of knowledge. There is no any division. So there are 5 categories in this chapter, especially in this chapter. Lord Sri Krishna described 5 categories of the path of realization. So your question is about your category. Sometimes the person who is in the category number 5, realized person, he also does some work. He also does some puja. He also does meditation, yoga. So karma yogi, bhakti yogi, and the realized person, both are doing everything. If you are karma yogi, it does not mean you are not bhakt. If you are bhakt, it does not mean you are the only bhakt. Like I gave example of Hanumanji. Hanumanji did everything. He used to worship our Lord Ram. He would meditate and he would realize. So when the category will come, you will understand. Do not categorize yourself. Category will come. You can understand. This like you are eating food. Then you can understand half stomach is full. Now I am completely full. Today I am overloaded. So your realization, your feeling, only you can understand. If you are meditating, it does not mean you are only the bhakt. If you are working for the world or yourself, it does not mean you are not realized person. So any devotee can do anything. In what category you are, do not think. Let God decide it. And you can understand. So do not categorize yourself. I am category number 1 or 3 or 5. Slowly, your first category, when it is in top, automatically it will go to category number 2. Automatically, there is no any procedure. I cannot change my category. How can I change my category? Who am I? So do not put yourself in any category. Just enjoy the path. That path will automatically, and these categories are just philosophical. Forget about the category. These categories are like just a doctrine, philosophy, to make Arjun understand, to make us to understand. So forget about the category. Do not try to put yourself category number 1 or 5. You may remain every category. As I told you, when the Karma Yoga is on its top, it would be Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Jnanaya Kalpate, scriptures are stating, and Bhakti what will give you the knowledge. So do not think about the category, just think about the meditation, your path of spirituality. Keep doing your chanting, your puja, your dhyanam, your meditation, your Vedanta study. So do everything. Do Karma Yoga, do Bhakti Yoga, and study the Vedanta. Forget about the philosophical language. So thank you. Now next one.
Thank you, Swamiji. Last but not the least question. Pranam Swamiji. In chapter 12, verse 12, Bhagwan says to Arjuna, knowledge is better than practice. But when we first start any form of bhakti, isn't practice the first step? Could you please elaborate and clarify? Thank you, Swamiji, for clarifying. Charan Spas, Swamiji.
Okay. Again, as I told you, the chapter 12 is very, very contextual. This chapter is a very unique chapter. We have heard so many words in path of spirituality. We know there are so many philosophies about Karma Yoga, about Bhakti Yoga, about Jnana Yoga, and we heard. But this chapter is very, very unique. This is the problem. Because here Sri Krishna says Bhakti, and we started thinking about Bhakti, Navada Bhakti, this type Bhakti, that type Bhakti. So this is actually problem with this very small chapter. In this chapter, Lord Sri Krishna's, the description about this chapter is very, very unique. Yes, we have to understand that when we do any practice, have to know something. Without knowing anything, we can't practice. Practice means you are doing something. But without knowing, you cannot do anything. So generally, practice means there is a knowledge, there is understanding. And then we repeat it again and again in same pattern. Here Sri Krishna, in this chapter, when he said, Dhyanat dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma pala tyaga tyaga chantiranantaram. If you remember previous talk, I said Sri Krishna did mischief again with Arjuna. In this chapter, Sri Krishna did mischiefs. kidding. So that is why this chapter is very, very unique. We have to know it very differently. To do not mix. Here Sri Krishna says, practice. Jnana jnanam vishishyate. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat jnana dhyanam vishishyate. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat. Without knowing, like you are doing some ritual, you are chanting any mantra, but you do not know the meaning, the procedure. But we are keep doing. Nothing wrong. But if you have knowledge, if you have understood, Sri Krishna said it would be better. Shreyo jnanam abhyasat jnana dhyanam vishishyat. Now it tells that if someone knows but he does not do any practice, that knowledge also not useful. Jnana dhyana karma phalatyagam. So here in this context, in this chapter, we should be very, very alert, very, very careful, because do not mix the word of the chapter 12 with other words. Yes, practice has to be done, but with the knowledge. We do the practice sometimes without knowledge. In this chapter, when Sri Krishna says, practice means the karma yoga. Abhyas. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasa. Karma yoga is a practice. Now he takes next level. He talks about the bhakti yoga. Jnana dhyanam vishishyate. So in this chapter, practice has its different meaning. Abhyas has its different meaning. And the knowledge has its own different meaning. So do not mix. So thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji, for clarifying our doubts. With your kind permission, now we'll go for the question answer, the test
Please.
session, Swamiji.
Start.
Hari Om, everyone. We'll follow our usual norm. I'll read out the question. Those who want to answer, kindly do not say me. I will not realize. Just call out your name and we'll see that maximum people get chance to answer. We'll go with the first question. As per chapter 12, what are the 5 levels of Bhakti Yoga?
Abha.
Yes, Abha, go ahead.
So according to chapter 12, and as described to us by Puja Swamiji, there are 5 levels of Bhakti Yoga have been described by Lord Krishna in this chapter. And it starts from the Bhakti, it goes from the highest level to the lowest level. And the first one is devotion to the Nirgun Nirakar form, or the formless Brahman, and the pure consciousness, and which is the most difficult as it is considered, because it is not supported by the mind and our sense organs, because we cannot conceive the form and the shape and any qualities in no attributes. If we cannot do that, then Bhagwan gives us another option to have devotion for the Vishwarupa form, which was shown to Arjuna in the chapter 11, in which he saw Bhagwan as all-pervading in everything, and then see Bhagwan everywhere, and then have a universal Lord and offer all your actions. And then if that also is difficult, then the third level is having your own personal Ishta Devta, which is like you can have your own, you can pray to Lord Vishnu, Ma Durga, or Ganeshji, and then you can connect your emotions to that Lord and you can feel devoted. If that also is not your qualification, or you do not want to do that, then there are another two levels that Bhagwan has described, that see Lord in everywhere, and then see that same consciousness or the Chaitanya in everybody, and do your actions or your service for everybody, and offer that service as a service to the Lord, which is like doing charity and helping others. And then if that also is difficult because of our egocentric people like us, then Bhagwan gives the last option, that is to do your actions, whatever we do in our daily life, just offer them to the Lord. So whatever we do for ourselves, at least that we can offer to the Lord, and we can give up the desire for getting any fruits of action out of them. And whatever fruit of action we receive, we can just accept it as the prasad from Bhagwan. And that way, that is the only way we can not have any agitations in our life, and we can slowly progress on the path of spirituality. So paths of spiritualities are available for every seeker, no matter which level we are on. We just need to see which path suits us, and then we just start our journey, and slowly we will be elevated from one level to another level. And ultimately, the whole aim of the spirituality is to realize our own self, and which is can only be realized by the Gyan Yoga. So the Gyan Yoga is the first level, and the next two levels in which we are doing the Upasana Yoga, whether as a Vishwaroop or as an Ishta Devta, that is the second level, and second and third level. And the fourth and fifth is the Karma Yoga, in which we do actions, we purify our mind and our intellect by doing selfless actions, either for people or for ourselves, and without having any desire for achieving any fruits of our actions. Thank you so much. Pranam Swamiji.
Let us have the answer. The levels are karma level 1, actions only to, just give a minute. Actions only to fulfill one's own desires. Karma level 2, actions for the general well-being of the society. Devotion, Upasana level 1, worshipping the Saguna Sakar Brahman, God with name and form, Virata Roop. Devotion, Upasana level 2, worshipping the God in human form, Ishta Devata, like Vishnu, Shiva, Durga. Knowledge, following the path of knowledge and understanding of pure consciousness. Reference explanation of verse 2. State if the below statement is true or false. Great masters refuse to answer questions that are fundamentally wrong. Anu.
Yeah. This statement is false. The great master answers every question that is put up to him, whether the question is fundamentally wrong or right. If the question is asked is fundamentally wrong, the master slowly and gradually corrects the question through his answers for the better understanding of the student. In any case, once one gets the answer, the question always seems meaningless. Thank you. Pranam Swamiji.
Let's have the answer. False. Great masters answer all questions, even if it is wrong question. They answer the wrong question with an appropriate answer, but gradually steer the disciple to the correct understanding. Question number 3. Reference explanation of verse 2. Choose the correct option from those given below. Arjuna's question in verse 1 is wrong because A, B, C, D, E are the choices.
Poonam, may I?
Poonamji.
Arjuna is asking Lord to compare two dissimilar aspects, devotion and knowledge, which are two different paths. Devotion is the path. Knowledge is the goal to self-realization. Hence, we cannot compare two things which are not similar. Thank you.
So you are saying which one? A, B, C, D, E, Poonamji? Anybody else wants to answer this?
Can be.
May I? May I?
Yes, Ji.
Rakhi?
Okay, Rakhi Ji.
It's B. He is asking the Lord to compare two dissimilar aspects.
Okay, let's see the answer. Answer 3. Arjuna's question in verse 1 is wrong because they are about to start the Mahabharat war. The time and place is incorrect. That's not correct. Other 3 are not correct. The correct answer is B. He's asking the Lord to compare two dissimilar aspects. Let's go into question 4. We have to match the column stating the qualities of the consciousness that is stated in verse 3 to its meaning in the adjacent column.
Mukta.
Ji Mukta Ji.
Okay. The first word is Aksharam, which means immutable. It never changes. Second is Avyaktam. It is, but not visible. Third is Sarvatrigam, which is omnipresent. Achintyam, cannot be thought about. Kutastham, it is the substratum of the universe. Pranam Swamiji.
Let's have the answers. Aksharam, immutable, it never changes. Avyaktam, it is but not visible. Sarvatragama is omnipresent. Achintya, cannot be thought about. Kutastham, it is the substratum of the universe. Let's go with question 5. Reference explanation of verse 4. What would be the outcome if we are able to control our sense organs and mind?
Poonam, may I?
Ji Poonam Ji.
Okay. When we are able to control our sense organs and our mind, we feel very peaceful within ourselves. Our senses, which are outwards, being connected to worldly objects, are now turned within. They are purified. Through the eyes, though the eyes see a particular body, these purified senses will see consciousness alone. Such a person is above names and forms, rag, dvesh, and cares for welfare of all without any attachment. Such a person can achieve Lord Krishna. Thank you.
Let's see the answer. Once we gain control over our sense organs and mind, then A, our vision will change. We only will see one thing, and that is consciousness. We'll be able to see consciousness in all humans, animals, insects, trees, and in every object. B, we will engage only in welfare of all beings. We'll go for question 6. Reference verses 5. What makes the Lord say that worship of the manifested is easier than that of unmanifested?
Bharati, Mangara.
Ji Bharati Ji.
In this verse, Lord said, when the mind sees an object with form, it can be easy to worship it because sense needs a mind and can relate to it in steadfast, hold it in all times. So object can lead to self-realization easily than with no form. Pranam Swamiji.
Let's have the answer. Every devoted individual soul has a body and it is attached to the body. Everything individual does, he does it only for the body. Anger, calmness, everything is related to our body. If God has a body, then it becomes very easy. Humans can easily think about a body with the body. It becomes very easy to contemplate on him, worship him. When an individual is told to contemplate on an entity that has no name, no form, then it becomes extremely difficult as humans are challenged to think beyond the body. Question 7. Reference explanation of verse 6. What is the only direct way to achieve liberation?
Rakhi.
Ji Rakhi ji.
The direct way to achieve liberation is only through the sadhana of knowledge, that is the study of the Upanishads. Knowledge can only come if done in a systematical study of spiritual literature. Except this, there is no other way. Even though it's a difficult path, taking smaller steps, reaching smaller goals, then aiming for higher goals is the way. Thus, Lord Krishna shows us the way by first giving us the highest goal and gradually making way for easier ones. It is up to each one of us to strive for the goal of liberation. Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
We'll see the answer. The only direct way to achieve liberation is sadhana of knowledge, and knowledge can be attained only by studying relevant literature systematically. Question 8. Reference explanation, of verse 7. Does the picture convey the meaning of the term Sabuddharta, the savior, as is intended in the verse? Briefly explain.
Anu,
Ji Anji.
In this verse, what Bhagwan means by Samuddharta, that is a savior, is that whoever has given oneself up to the Bhagwan in devotion, Bhagwan saves them from this cycle of transmigration. He helps such devoted seekers by sending them a guru master who can help them in their spiritual way. So hence the picture doesn't convey the right meaning. Thank you, Swamiji, for now.
Let's see the answer. No. Although the picture shows Lord as a savior, this is not what it means in a context of this verse. Samuddharta means that he will manage some conditions in the seeker's life to help him get liberated, not just grant him liberation. There are no shortcuts in spirituality. Question 9. Sorry. Okay. Number 10. Reference verse 6 to 10. The pictures below show a seeker of liberation that is on different levels below the path of knowledge. Identify the level and rank them from the highest to the lowest.
Abha?
Yes, Abha.
So there are 3 pictures. The first picture shows the karma yoga in which the people are doing, helping others or giving charity or attending to some sick people or taking care of the family, taking care of the plants and the animals or teaching. In the second picture, the Vishwarupa of Bhagwan is being shown. And in the third picture is the personal God or the Ishta Devta is being shown. So according to this chapter, or as told by Pujya Swamiji, the Vishwarupa comes number 1, Ishta Devta comes number 2, and the Karma Yoga comes at number 3.
Let's see the answer. Everything, everywhere, everything is God. That's number 1. Devoted to one name and form. That's number 2. And third is selfless work for others. Question 11. In the most basic form of spiritual practice stated in verse 11, what is that one correction that the seeker needs to implement?
Poonam, may I?
Ji Poonam ji.
In the most basic form of spiritual practice, that is, the seeker is offering all his actions to God. The action can be to build a home, a temple, or work to make earning for the family. And for all actions done, he will get results. However, the one correction he needs to implement is that he cannot dictate what fruits he wants for actions done. One cannot expect to get what he or she wants or feels like having. Instead, whatever comes to us, we should accept it as a prasad, a gift from God. The result that comes is actually grace of God, and we should take that as a blessing from God. Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
Answer. the seeker can continue performing his actions as before. The one correction that is needed is giving up the fruits of his action, which means that whatever he gets, he should accept it as grace of God. Even if he buys things for himself, like house, car, or clothes, everything he needs to accept as prasad of God. Question 12. As per the sequence given in verse 12, rank the below spiritual practices in the order of their importance. Meditation, renunciation of fruits of action, mechanical practice of rituals, knowledge.
Poonam, may I try?
Ji Poonam ji.
Okay, the C, mechanical practice of rituals, then is the renunciation of fruits of actions, then the knowledge, and then the meditation.
Can I correct it, Rasha?
Yes, you have a different answer. Please answer.
C, D, A, B.
C, D, A, B. Okay, let's see the correct answers.
Hi.
C, D, A, B. Mechanical practice of rituals, knowledge, meditation, and renunciation of fruits of action. We go to the next part, next set of questions. Elaborate with suitable examples, if any, on the quote below. Friends we make knowingly and enemies unknowingly. मित्र हम स्वयं बनाते हैं और शत्रु अपने आप बन जाते हैं.
May I try, Vaishnavi?
जी मीता जी.
Pranam Swamiji. Your kind permission, just few thoughts from your lecture. This shloka is referring to how we should be in some equanimous form towards all, whether it's our friend and enemy. Making a friend is my decision, but making enemy also becomes my decision, as when I make friends, I am mindful, I choose my friends. So it becomes knowingly. But all those whom I do not make friends become my enemy unknowingly. All the people I have made friends, I declare that they are my friends. But I don't declare people as my enemy. It gets understood unknowingly. I'm declaring them as enemy as I'm not including them in my friends list. So we end up having both enemies and friends, enemies unknowingly and friends knowingly. But both these are not outside. They are inside in our mind. The Lord sets an example of being equanimous in terms of friends and enemies. He takes the case, let's take the case of Mahabharata, where the Pujya Lord never hated Duryodhana, nor did he love Arjun. He declares it was their characteristics and qualities which put them differently. He treated them both equally, only they, in their own minds, treated the Lord differently. Arjun as a friend and Duryodhana as an enemy. Enmity and friendship are both a concept in our mind. A realized person does not take anyone as a friend nor as an enemy. Enemy is created by me unknowingly. So, as a learning, we can try not to categorize people into enemy and friends, try to have similar attitude towards all, attitude and responses inspired by our love, and remain equanimous towards all in the true spirit of spirituality. A samabhav is all that we should aspire towards. All is a play of the mind and the mind alone. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's have the answer.
May I add something?
Okay, Ji Shukla ji.
When I think about enemies and friends, I also think in terms of raga and dvesa. In the earlier chapters, we talked about being above raga and dvesa. And raga is what creates a sensation or a feeling of friendship. Dvesa is Satru, and if we can rise above Raga and Dvesa, then we rise above the concept of friend or enemy and look at everybody with equanimity. Thank you. Pranam Swamiji.
Let's have the answer. Okay, so
Varsha ji, Rajesh, can I add something, please?
Ji Rajesh ji.
Okay, Pranam Swamiji, my thought is here in a very different way, and this is my experience. I think we make friends knowingly with our likings, but in our thoughts, we should never think bad about anybody. So that is our bhav. That is why in my understanding of spirituality, we never think bad about anything and we never do bad to anything. Those are the things, our bad thoughts about anybody will create an enemy. This is my understanding of Dvesh. If we don't create any bad thoughts about anybody in this world, all will be the friends and we will be one. Thank you. Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam Swamiji, we are 5 minutes past 5, but we have only one question. Shall we take it, Swamiji? Hariyo, the last two questions are very subjective, so we'll not have an answer per se on these. We'll have the last question coming in now. Briefly elaborate your own understanding and perspective on the quote below. Thought of the day: knowledge without practice and practice without knowledge do not lead to any progress.
Poonam, may I?
Ji Poonam ji.
Okay, the answer is knowledge and practice go hand in hand. One cannot practice any job or activity without knowledge. So also, if you have knowledge and don't practice, that knowledge is of no use. Example, if you know how to cook, but you don't actually practice or cook, then your knowledge alone cannot satiate your hunger. Also, if you are ready to cook, but have no knowledge of cooking, then it's not possible for you to cook any food. So both knowledge and practice are necessary to achieve something. Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
I can take one more if anybody wants to add any of their point. Any different perspective?
Varsha?
Ji.
Even if you have some knowledge, without you practically do and understand clearly, that knowledge will not be of much help. Similarly, if you do something like driving a car without knowledge, that will not be a correct way of doing the thing. Pranam Swamiji.
Hari Om. So with this, we have completed our revision session. Thank you, Swamiji. Charan Sparsh.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashikritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayeta. Om Shanti.